everybody, and welcome to SECV8. You're looking at the American flag being hoisted here in the borough of Lewisburg as we prepare for the Union County Veterans 4th of July Parade. I'm Carl Bauer. I'm working with Kevin Herr. Kevin, this is always one of the best parades in the area.
You know, it absolutely is, and one of the things that's really exciting is when this flag goes up. You saw everybody pull cameras out, and they took advantage of getting an enormous flag on their phones, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of wallpapers for the next couple of weeks, especially with the 4th of July just around the corner.
You have the Warrior Run Area Fire Department and the Lewisburg Fire Department sharing that flag together. That's something that they do year in and year out. It's just an amazing thing to look at.
Well, and that takes coordination, too. You saw all the firefighters on the bottom just making sure the flag comes up correctly and then doesn't touch the ground, because that's a rule. You can't let it touch the ground,
right.
Carl.
That's right. Our director for this telecast is Dylan Letkavage. Working graphics, Scott McVicker. On the cameras, Todd Marriott, David Myers, and right on top of the van, Larry Tickle Jr. He has the dangerous part, Kevin.
Yeah, we got him all strapped in there. He's got the bungee cords. He's good to go.
We want to send a big thank you to Mifflinburg Bank and Trust here at 500 Market Street in Lewisburg for allowing us to use their parking lot. Mifflinburg Bank and Trust, where you can bank on the go. SECV8's coverage of the Lewisburg Veterans 4th of July Parade is brought to you by Sunbury Motors, over 200 years of satisfying customers, and Service Electric Cablevision, proudly serving our communities since 1948. This parade, which is not due to start for another 10 minutes or so, coming to you live here on SECV8. There is going to be a flyover, we have been told, and that's always an exciting time, too. The big aircraft coming across Lewisburg, it makes the streets rumble.
Well, and that's the kickoff for this parade. Once you get that flyover going, then everybody starts to line up. And the organization for this parade is massive. You're talking about all the streets by the old elementary building and the middle school there. All those streets are blocked off because that's where they align everybody. Everybody has their certain spots. And then the flow as you go out. This line goes, then this street goes, then this angle goes. And it's just amazing how they're able to put this together every year.
Well, I don't know if you were watching this parade during the time of COVID, but it was so different because what they did was they brought the veterans into the parking lot, and people walked around talking to the veterans, driving their cars around. Of course, we didn't want anybody getting seriously ill because of COVID, so it was different that year.
Yeah, a lot of things were different that year, but it's really nice to see the crowd like it is today, packed along the streets. I think they started lining things up and setting chairs up on Wednesday morning about 6 a.m. to make sure they got the right spots.
Well, Terry Burke is the guy who is really the coordinator of this entire event. Hats off to him because it is a massive job. You don't just do that in a couple of hours. It literally takes from the close of this parade today until the beginning of the parade next year to get everything together.
Very much so, and a lot of the youngsters here start their planning for the parades about the same time. They want to make sure they have the right bag for all the candy. They want to make sure they have a big enough bag for all the candy. And if it didn't work at Halloween, it's probably not going to work then in July. Speaking of Halloween, I was looking to see if anybody was going to be decorated for this summer version of Halloween I keep hearing about. Summerween, I believe it's called.
I think we're probably going to see that at some time during the parade.
I have not seen any watermelon jack-o'-lanterns yet, but and I don't see any costumes, but I do see a lot of red, white, and blue, and that's what it's all about today.
That certainly is what it's about. American flags everywhere. You're going to see a lot of those during this parade, and it has everything you can imagine. The most important thing, of course, it's a tribute to the veterans in the area. We're going to see a lot of those men and women walking and riding in cars, and it's just a real event here in Lewisburg.
Carl, when this started years ago, it was a lot of World War II veterans that were being honored, and obviously those folks were losing every single day, every single hour, and there's not nearly as many as when we had this first parade. But then you start to see some of the other veterans that past World War II, the Vietnam veterans now that are actually being able to be honored a little bit more maybe than they had in the past. And now you have Operation Desert Storm, you have Enduring Freedom, you have Cold War veterans that are now being honored. I think we've changed the way we've looked at veterans. You know, the focus for so many years was on World War II, as it should be. And now, as we get a little bit further away from World War II, we remember there have been more veterans in between in a lot of conflicts that may not have been as big, but still served our country well.
Recent print media also are very aware of what is known as the Forgotten War, the Korean War.
Absolutely.
We're going to see some of those veterans today, too. All that is coming up very soon right here on SCCV8 from Lewisburg. I'm Carl Bauer with Kevin Herr. We'll be back right after this.
Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Mertz, fifth generation of the Mertz family owning and operating Sunbury Motors. At Sunbury Motors, we're helping you come alive in 2025. Let's see what Sunbury Motors has to offer.
Save on our large selection of Broncos, Escapes, and America's #1 selling truck, the Ford F-150.
Come visit us at the North 4th Street Auto Plaza in Sunbury, PA, and be treated to a buying experience like you've never had before. For the past 110 years, Sunbury Motors has been committed to selling more cars, satisfying more customers, and providing you with a tradition of trust. We must be doing something right.
Neighbors helping neighbors. It's how a community works. At SCCV, we're more than just your internet provider, we're your neighbor. We understand the importance of staying connected with fast, reliable internet, TV, and phone services. And we're here for you with local friendly support. Your money stays where it belongs, right here in our community. Invested in people, innovation, and the technology that keeps us all connected. We're proud to be your hometown provider, working hard every day to make our community better.
Okay, guys, this is special.
Step into Rachel Ray's kitchen.
Ooh, I love that sound.
To learn how to make incredible food fast.
It's so quick, it's so easy, so delicious. It's time for everybody to eat.
Rachel Ray's Meals in Minutes. New episode Monday at 9. Part of Homemade Nation on FYI.
Good morning.
They say to love thy neighbor.
What? No. Just move along.
But when push comes to neighborly shove,
Stay in your yard. Have a wonderful day.
who will be left standing?
Bro, shut up.
Neighborhood Wars. New episodes Tuesday at 9. Only on A&E.
TiVo Plus. All the TV you could ever dream of. Personalized and streaming 24/7. Your favorite shows, movies, videos, and more. All in one easy experience you know and love. Streaming TV that's free, binge-worthy, and always on.
Is this great or what?
TiVo Plus.
Toxic relationships can lead to tragedy. My calling, expose the truth.
Oh my God. I want to talk to them, so now I'm going to go knock on their door.
I'm Elizabeth Chambers, and this is Toxic.
All new. Mondays at 10 on ID.
Wild right now.
When Modern Family,
raising our 4 kids, all while running our business,
meets modern luxury.
My design is evolving, rich, rugged.
Anything can happen.
We opened up a furniture and home goods store.
The fear is this too much?
Down Home Fab, all new, Tuesday at 8 on HGTV.
Neighbors helping neighbors. It's how a community works. At SECV, we're more than just your internet provider. We're your neighbor. We understand the importance of staying connected with fast, reliable internet, TV, and phone services. And we're here for you with local friendly support. Your money stays where it belongs, right here in our community. Invested in people, innovation, and the technology that keeps us all connected. We're proud to be your hometown provider, working hard every day to make our community better.
We've been training, preparing for this.
Lots of talk, lots of words. Let's brawl.
They pick their teams.
I am all cowboy.
From the best barbecue talent in the country.
I got this swag.
In search of the next master of Q.
We need to make a comeback. Hurry up.
Coming through.
All new Barbecue Brawl, Sunday night at 9.
We've got another mine to go to.
We really could use your help.
We'll do the best we can.
Oh, it looks like a trap. Now it's actually a running plant.
Now they can make a darn good living.
Some things are just better together, like peanut butter and jelly, burgers and fries, and internet, Plume Whole Home Wi-Fi, and TiVo Stream from SECV. Get blazing fast 2 gig internet, whole home Wi-Fi coverage with Plume, and endless entertainment with TiVo Stream. And together, it's better. And because we're a family-owned business, you get local customer service you can trust. No runarounds, just real people ready to help.
Welcome back to Lewisburg. You're here at Market Street with us, live on SECV 8. We're ready for the 2025 Union County Veterans 4th of July Parade. I'm Carl Bauer, working with Kevin Herr. Kevin, you can feel the anticipation.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody's picking out their spots. It's a late growing crowd here. The train engines are here, so there's going to be no blocking of the pathway for the parade when a train comes through. That's all going to be taken care of. And I don't even know if you can get to some of the streets here that surround Market Street with the amount of people that are here. Again, it was a little bit of a late arriving crowd here today. Some people had their stuff set out this morning, but fortunately right now we're looking at overcast skies, a little bit of a breeze, and just a great day for honoring our veterans here in Lewisburg, and a great way to kick off a 4th of July Independence Day week.
Unlike a lot of these parades where you have just scorching temperatures with heavy sun and humidity, we don't have any of that today. It's very comfortable here in Lewisburg.
We saw the sun break out for a few brief seconds, and we thought, I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but right now it is absolutely perfect weather.
Well, if you're looking east on Market Street, you see an enormous American flag. That flag hoisted by the Warrior Area Fire Department and the Lewisburg Fire Department. It's so impressive, and people that come here to watch the parade are reminded of what a great country we live.
You know, it's fun to watch them put this thing up and the coordination that is involved in this to make sure everything is stretched out properly, but not too stretched out. But what's really fun is something that I was lucky enough to experience over the last several years is being in the parade itself and going underneath that flag. There's an emotion there. There's an emotion that you really can't describe.
The Veterans Parade is designed to honor those war veterans from the United States. We're going to see many of those men and women coming through as the parade progresses. We are anticipating a flyover. That's supposed to happen almost momentarily. If it comes off, it'll be a Douglas C-47 Skytrain, Luck of the Irish. It comes from Air Heritage Aviation Museum in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. That's a long way from here, as the crow flies.
or as the Skytrain flies.
Yes.
You know, I've never heard Skytrain before, so I'm interested to see. I don't think I've ever seen a C-47, so I'm really going to be interested to see what that looks like.
It's a cargo plane.
Does it have more cars behind it? Or
No.
Not that kind of train? All right.
No, not anything like that.
That would be cool, though.
It would be. It would be amazing.
Imagine trying to get that off the ground.
As I'm looking west on Market Street, I'm seeing some flashing lights, so the parade is about ready to start. Everybody.
Oh, the parade's gone to the dogs.
Oh, look at that.
I'm sorry. It was just there. I couldn't help myself. That was one. I don't know what the over-under on my bad puns are today, but that's one.
All right. Parade coming down the street as everybody just waiting with bated breath. They can't wait for this thing to get going. And it's going to happen here very soon.
I don't know which is more exciting when I was a kid, the candy at a parade or watching the fire trucks. And one of the unique things about this parade is all the fire truck apparatus, with the exception of a few that will start the parade, are basically at the end. So it gets a little noisy, but in a good way.
Well, you have to appreciate what our volunteer firemen do. They just they work very, very hard. I know because the chief of the Warrior Run Fire Department is a neighbor of mine, and he tells me about all the calls that they go on. They average more than one a day, a call of some sort, whether it's a fire, an accident, an ambulance call of some sort, and they're very, very busy. And those men basically are working for nothing.
Well, and they have full-time jobs as well, most of them. And you're right, the word volunteer is in the fire company description. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is the training hours and time that you have to put in to be able to run into a building that is on fire or run into a house to try and pull somebody out and keep them safe. The amount of training that's involved in that and the hours are just unbelievable. And there's an expense as well, not only for the fire department to be able to take care of their apparatus and their people, but a lot of these volunteer fire company guys are doing it on their own. They're buying their own what they call turnout gear. That's all the gear that they wear. And they're paying for their own training so that the volunteer company doesn't have to. And that's why when your local volunteer fire company has a carnival, a chicken barbecue, or a fundraiser, please make sure you support that.
Especially the carnivals. The firemen work so hard at those things. They're basically going 24 hours a day for a week, getting the carnivals prepared and
I've done a few of those.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
Bingo, ice cream, and cheeseburgers. Those are the three staples of my carnival time. Not necessarily in that order.
All that great food.
Yeah, I smelled some burgers here earlier. I said to you, I wasn't hungry until I smelled that. Now I'm ready. I don't know. And I'm sure there's going to be a ton of food here throughout the day today with all the festivities going on in Lewisburg. And there's going to be a lot of grilling all this weekend for everybody at home.
Right. It's a big weekend. And next weekend also with the 4th of July holiday.
Yeah. Do you have any fun plans?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any fun plans?
Well, yeah, we'll do some things. There are fireworks all over. I really enjoy them, and my family does as well. We'll be going to fireworks displays probably in 2 different locations, and that is always something.
Are you the grill master?
Well, we kind of share that. My daughter and I.
You're a good man. Nobody touches my grill.
Oh, really? You're the one, huh?
I am very much protective of my grill. Now, I didn't say I do it well. I just say that I do it. All right. There's a difference. You were talking about fireworks last night. We had fireworks here in Lewisburg at Wolffield, another fantastic fireworks display. You had people all over the area that were talking about it on social media last night. It was so much fun. Even though the weather wasn't perfect and it was a little bit damp at Wolffield, it was a late arriving crowd, and boy, you had a field that was full of something other than baseball players for a change.
We got the break in the weather exactly when we needed it for these celebrations coming up. The spring was not one of our better springs, what with all the wind first and then all the rain. hopefully that's behind us now for a while. Things can dry out. I know golf courses in the area are struggling a bit because a lot of their holes are wet and unplayable. So
that's usually my
makes things
game,
hard.
unplayable. Yeah, you're actually describing my golfing career. I keep looking at the skies every now and then to see if there's anything coming over, because when that thing comes over, it'll be over quick, I'm sure, and it'll be flying around in a few loops so that everybody can get a good view. Several years ago, I remember one of the flyovers actually flew straight through to the east on Market Street here, then came back, looped around a little bit.
Those were the big bombers that just shake the windows.
You can feel that. You're right.
Okay, the parade coming up the street right now, nearly to our location. We'll get this moving along here live on SECV8.
Yeah, I believe that leading the way will be the Buffalo Valley Regional Police with Dan Embrick, the chief. What's he got under the hood of that car? That's a nice-looking police vehicle.
Yes, it is.
You don't want to see it behind you.
No.
But, it's a nice-looking car right now.
I know whenever I pass a police car, I hope that they just sit there and don't crank it up and come chasing me.
Well, if you're not doing over the posted sign, you're fine.
Right. That's right.
Actually, this is the first set of candy of the day, so that now all the youngsters are waking up a little bit now.
They're very happy that they brought that big bag.
Yep.
Okay, the Buffalo Valley Regional Police, followed by William Cameron Engine Company from Lewisburg. Jamie Blount is the chief of the William Cameron Engine Company. Some very, very nice equipment. You're going to see a plethora of that throughout the parade. Lots of very up-to-date and shiny police vehicles.
And also some not so up-to-date fire vehicles, as the antique fire truck with Wayne Bieber and Vaughn Murray providing that. There you see the old snorkel truck. Yeah, those are the days that I remember growing up with the revolving lights.
Right.
Not the electronic ones now, but the revolving ones. Have you ever driven one of those?
No, but I have had the opportunity to ride in a few of them. That's fun.
Not this particular 62 Ford Pittman, but I have driven a few of these fire trucks over the years, and let's just say we didn't get to the fire very fast. But we got there.
Next up, the Milton Fire Department Incorporated. Scott Durr is the chief of the Milton Fire Department.
Hang on, I'm watching the spinning lights in front. That's very entertaining for me, you know that.
Well, don't fixate on it. First thing you know, you'll be dropping off into a stupor.
Most people say I'm already there. Love those ladder trucks. I have all the respect for anybody who will climb up into one of those. Like that level I can handle. It's when it goes up that's not my thing. I'll stay on the ground and, play around with the valves and that. I believe we have an honor guard that is getting ready to go for the from the Lewisburg Legion car.
There we see it right on camera.
The honor guard does the job of bringing the American flag as well as representing all of the armed services, the armed forces.
Various flags of the military branches.
And of course, everybody along the side standing up and honoring those folks that are not only part of the color guard and honor guard, but also part of those service branches.
That's presented by the Susquehanna Valley Marine Corps League. Martin Lebo.
Well, there's a place I was just this past weekend, Pocono Raceway, sponsor of the 28th Infantry Division Band. Pocono Raceway having one NASCAR race last weekend, and I'm going to put my plea in again for an IndyCar race to return to Pocono.
All right.
Some great racing at that speedway right in our own backyard, Carl.
Here is the Pennsylvania Army National Guard 28th Infantry Division Band out of Hollidaysburg. Mayor of Lewisburg, Kelly Alvarez, going by in a very nice Corvette. And now, the Army National Guard Division Band.
That's a nice opportunity to give the Pennsylvania Army National Guard 28th Infantry Division Band from Hollidaysburg an opportunity to perform here as we had a little bit of a stoppage. And then they'll get things cranked up once again for another section of the parade to enjoy their sounds. Part of the stoppage here is getting some photos taken and also the respect for the American flag that they're just about to walk under.
Military groups, the precision just always impresses me so much.
I mean, they always, what's the old adage, repetition, 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 and I'm sure they've done a lot of that over the years, but you're absolutely right. The specific movements, the specific placements. And then you have to play an instrument too. Got a lot more bands coming up through this parade, high school bands and some special bands along the way. And I know one particular group that people from the area look forward to will be coming up somewhere around mid-parade.
Would it be a feathered group?
It might be.
Something really special is coming up here next. Next up, the Lewisburg American Legion Women's Auxiliary featuring veterans Robert Knapp of the Navy. He is a World War II veteran. He is 100 years old, and driving that car is Dave Huntz, former mayor of Watsontown, Pennsylvania.
That's what this parade is all about, honoring those folks. And Ron Hartman, the Navy, he's escorted by Paula Dale Snyder.
He's followed by Bobby Steele of the Army, Tom Browse of the Army from Somalia and Haiti, escorted by Kim Sonderland.
In full dress uniform.
And it still fits. That is incredible.
And he's happy the sun's not out himself right now, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Representing the Marines and the Army, Wayne Inch from the Marines, Richard Chappell from the Army, escorted by Gina Tansley.
From Vietnam era, United States Air Force, this is William Bill James, escorted by Sandy Cleese Veneta. That vehicle coming up right now. Richard Burroughs and Bill James.
You see the Susquehanna Valley Marine Corps League Honor Guard and their vehicle.
This is honored guest Winter Mertz. He is a multi-year participant in this parade, riding in Pappy's Toy.
Oh, that sounds like a paddy wagon.
Yeah. That's an old police car for sure. Black and white.
Is that the sound where you had to crank it to make it work?
I believe it
sounds
is.
Like.
There's Winter Mertz.
Winter passing us in front now. Yep.
Multi-year participant. This antique police car is provided by Silver Moon. That sits up by the Silver Moon on Route 15. Meet me at the Silver Moon, Lewisburg, PA. This is the part of the parade that the kids love to be, because there's so much stuff that gets thrown out.
Again, this is where you've worked all year to make sure that bag or basket is the right size, because you don't want to overflow it and lose anything. The Pennsylvania Wounded Warriors, with Helen Sager, the president, Connie Steach, and Kathy Zuni, escorted by Joe Nacerto.
They're riding in a classic Buick. It's very nice. This is Soldiers and Sailors Restoration Committee, Nada Gray, Henry Halverson, escorted by Sheila Barthall. They're going by our stand right now. We've talked so many times, Kevin, about the cars. This happens to be a very nice one.
That's a Mercedes. Is that a Benz? Yeah, that's a Mercedes E450. See, I know some car, not much, but I don't know what's under the hood. I just know they go vroom vroom when you hit the pedal.
Yes, they do. Very powerful machines.
This is again. This is what happens from time to time, where some of the bands stop, and I believe that was the infantry there early, or up the road a little bit, just giving everybody an opportunity to see them perform as everybody starts to move under the flag here at 5th and Market.
And we don't want to miss that music. That's such an important part of the parade.
Well, the original committee member and Vietnam area veterans, Graham Showalter and Paul Showalter, as Paul's doing the driving the way it looks today. Talk about big supporters of the community and everything that goes on in it. The Showalters are one of those.
Well, for years, Graham was the mover and the shaker for this parade. Did a lot of work to get things ready. Coming up next, the Union County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Ernie Ritter III. I believe that's Scott Hahn driving the car.
Is there anyone in this parade you won't know?
No. We have cheat sheets, though. That makes it a little bit different.
I was not going to say that. I was giving you the plug there without having to give away your secret.
And here in the second vehicle is Ernie Ritter. Good throw there, Ernie. His wife Tammy is right there beside him.
He said he has a little bit of problem throwing with the tennis elbow.
Yeah.
I didn't know he played tennis.
Good excuse anyway, Kevin.
Well, let's go with that, yeah. The Union County Commissioners will be coming up. Stacy Richards is in the in the vehicle there.
Another Mercedes, beautiful one.
I believe also the Union County Commissioners Jeff Reber and Preston Boop. And Sam Hudson doing the driving for the Commissioners.
All right.
For two of the three, anyway.
Next we have Gold Star Families banner. There it is, the Gold Star Families banner. And Gold Star Families.
Our local scout troop helping to hand out some flags as well.
It's a family of Ray Ulrich, Vietnam veteran out of the Army, escorted by Greg Schaefer. A Gold Star family.
Handing out flags as well as some peanuts as we see Sergeant Ulrich come up. As we see and remember Sergeant Ulrich.
Killed in action in 1969. That was a long time ago.
Can't forget about the families as well, and that's why we have the Gold Star families as part of the parade. Have some other people that were being honored here from Afghanistan and the Army as well.
This is Sandra Hackenberg, the mother of Thomas Baysor Jr. from Afghanistan. He served in the Army, and that car driven by Paul Heitzman.
Carl, one of the unique things about this parade is we also honor the people that were here before anybody else was here, and that's the Native Americans.
This is Native Americans Bernie Schmader and his family. Remarkable costumes.
And you'll probably find out more about them from the Susquehanna River Valley Visitors Bureau, which is now in Montandon located. So stop by there when you get an opportunity and find out about places that you can see right here in the Susquehanna Valley.
I want to send out a big thank you to Mifflinburg Bank and Trust here at 500 Market Street in Lewisburg for allowing us to use their parking lot. Mifflinburg Bank and Trust, where you can bank on the go. This is American Originals Fife and Drum Corps. Let's listen to their music. This band was established in 1991. All right.
I'm going to guess that the original Fife and Drum Corps did not have the comfortable shoes to walk in the parade like these folks were smart enough to be able to bring or lucky enough.
The Silver Moon Restaurant, Silver Star sponsor, with Liberty Bell float provided by Milton Harvest Festival, escorted by Ned Germany.
And despite what you may have read on social media, that crack did not happen when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was a rumor going around.
Yeah,
earlier
there
this
was.
year,
Yeah,
but,
I heard that also.
Yeah, not true.
The Silver Moon Restaurant, shop and dine, breakfast and lunch at the Silver Moon.
Stop mentioning food.
I'm smelling those hamburgers grilling, and that makes my mouth water. SCCV8's coverage of the Lewisburg Veterans 4th of July Parade is brought to you by Sunbury Motors, over 200 years of satisfying customers, and Service Electric Cablevision, always local, always reliable.
Carl Pardo driving the Montandan fire cart from 1890.
1890. Wow.
Is that similar to what they would call a Speedwagon?
I'm not sure.
I think REO Speedwagon was named after a fire apparatus, I believe. And if not, I'm just going to go with it anyway.
You're just full of all kinds of information, aren't you?
Listen, I have the most random knowledge of anybody you'll ever know, and it's never done me any good. And I don't win on Jeopardy either.
This is Geisinger Health Systems, Gold Star sponsor. One of our local hospitals.
I love how our hospitals work in conjunction with each other, too, from time to time. In this type of an area, it makes it feel like you're part of a metropolitan organization when everybody's working together the way they do.
Beginning World War I veterans. The family of World War I veteran Harry Gilbert Stahl and World War II veteran Marvin Stahl. They're from Mazeppa, just west of Lewisburg.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people forget about, too, when you look at World War I and World War II. It was fathers in World War I, their sons in World War II a lot of times.
Yeah.
We have an apparatus coming up here after we check in with Cosmo from Knoebels. He's got a busy summer.
Throwing you a kiss there, Kevin.
That's all right. I will visit you in a few weeks at Playland and try and get some more tickets.
This antique apparatus you were talking about is a 1930 Buffalo Fire Appliance Corporation fire engine provided by Jay and Terry Yoder. They actually live in Turbotville, and they had lost contact with this vehicle until they found it again on the internet, made inquiries, brought it back home, and obviously spent hours and hours and hours working on it and putting it together, and there you see it.
So it was here, then it was gone, they found it and brought it back.
Right.
Wow. I would imagine you're not going to go to your local auto parts store and find every part either.
I'm sure you have to manufacture your own. Representing veterans of World War II, you see some of the equipment, the rifles, and this guy coming toward us here. That's actually a BAR, Browning Automatic Rifle. Tommy gun, carried here by this other soldier.
And then the vehicle that revolutionized everything, the Jeep. Talk about a utility vehicle.
Still continuing today with Jeep Motor Corporation. The Mifflinburg Troop 520, the Boy Scouts, proudly salutes our military personnel. First, Iwo Jima, 1945, an absolutely historic battle in World War II.
Great collaborative effort there from the Mifflinburg Legion and the Boy Scouts. to
Raising
do
of the
this
flag,
reenact- yep, do the
represented
reenactment.
here. Raising of the flag on Iwo Jima.
Very impressive movie years ago, and even more impressive when you see the actual monument outside D.C.
This is Boy Scout Troop 521 marching in the parade. A salute to women veterans. And there you see some women veterans following the Boy Scouts. From World War I to World War II, and now Korean War veterans.
They're brought to you by the Berks Technical Institute, operating here in Lewisburg, teaching drivers how to, or teaching new drivers how to drive those big vehicles safely.
This big Pontiac, you wonder, how did we ever drive a vehicle that big? But that is a Pontiac Catalina, not even the big one. The Bonneville was the big one.
That's the definition of when you call a car a boat. That's what they're talking about.
Korean War veterans and Pennsylvania Masonic Grand Lodge and Knights Templar, Brian Barry, escorted by Ernie Ritter IV.
And the Pennsylvania Masonic Grand Lodge members coming up behind those folks. I'm still mesmerized by the size of that Pontiac.
Yeah.
How did you drive in the snow with that?
I don't know. How would you park it? That would be the big
Well, you're
problem.
not going to park it on Market Street, and you definitely don't parallel park because I'm pretty sure there's no backup camera there.
And the Catalina was not even the big one. The Bonneville was the big
Yeah,
one.
I didn't realize the Bonneville was that much bigger. Or bigger, anyway. This is the break in the parade where everybody gets a chance to reset, check the candy bags, make sure they're good to go, and then get ready to roll again when the next batch comes through.
Or how about, hey, Mom, this one's full. Give me another bag.
Well, that bag looked pretty full right there. I was surprised.
You can see this parade again this evening at 8 p.m., then tomorrow at 10 a.m., and on July 4th at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m., and it'll also be available early next week on demand. Plus, you'll be able to watch it on the SECV8 YouTube channel.
In other words, if you can't find it, you haven't been looking.
That's right. It is everywhere. Pennsylvania Masons moving by our table right now. Masonic lodges doing a great deal of important work.
Not only flying the American flag at the back, but also the Pennsylvania flag.
Well, what do we have next?
I believe we have a Korean War veteran here, Carl. You were talking about that earlier.
Howard Dean of the Army, escorted by Gene Mercerato.
And Guy Stover there in the utility golf vehicle.
And another older Corvette this time. That's Howard Dean in the Corvette. Howard, a Korean War veteran.
Ray Balliet.
Yet another Korean War veteran. He served in the Army. He is escorted by Lacey Balliet, the vehicle provided by Miranda Steele.
I think a lot of people's memory of the Korean War, good or bad, whether it's good or bad, I don't know, but would have to start with MASH.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I mean, I think
that
that's,
brought it to the forefront.
I think that's what really, and MASH as a television show did such a great job of finding the humor, but also remembering the tragedy as well.
there were some very, very serious shows that you were laughing one second, you were in tears the very next second.
I think the ones that Alan Alda did in the late 70s, early 80s really showed that dynamic.
Okay, we're going to start the Vietnam War era. This is Home Instead, a VA-approved provider of Silver Star sponsor.
Those folks do a nice job of coming to people's homes to help them out instead of putting them somewhere else.
Keeps people in their own homes.
Stay in your own home.
Much more comfortable there. People that need additional help certainly don't want to be moved away from home where they're familiar and comfortable. They would rather stay in their own homes, and that group, Home Instead, provides the opportunity.
I don't know if you're able to see it or not, but all of a sudden the bubbles have come out. I don't know if there's a bathtub nearby or a tribute to Lawrence Welk is coming out.
Well, that. You're showing your
I
age.
knew I was
Oh,
just
my.
about
Lawrence
to say
Welk.
that. I watched it with my grandparents, okay?
Yeah, okay. You didn't record it for further viewing, did you?
I don't think there was recording available at that time unless it was a little handheld 8mm camera my grandfather had. I have a bunch of those films in my attic. But this is one that you might want to hit record on right now, the Nittany Highland Pipe Band.
From State College, Pennsylvania, let's listen to them. I've always loved the sound of bagpipes.
There's so much going on. You have to blow into it. You have to squeeze it.
That's Vince Powell going by.
The Vietnam era veteran.
You can hear the bagpipes and drums in the background as they move on. Moving east, traveling east on Market Street here in Lewisburg.
I'm glad you know your east and west. I have to pull out my compass on my phone to figure it out.
Sun rises in the east, sets in the west.
You would think that would help me, but on a day like today,
day
I
like
can't
this,
find
you can't
the
tell.
sun, Carl. The Williamsport base of the United States Submarine Veterans, a scale version of a Sturgeon-class fast attack submarine. They're based out of Hughesville.
Don Young, Franklin Gillis, Brad Register, and Bill Reisner on that float.
With the USS Williamsport represented there. My brother-in-law was actually on a submarine, and I said that has to be one of the scariest things you ever do because you can't go anywhere when you're under attack in a submarine. I have all the respect in the world for those folks.
Okay, we have Vietnam veterans walking here in the parade. Dick Purcell from the Army, Durwood Allen from the Army, Gary Meehan, Wayne Weaver from the Navy, Bill Jarrett, Air Force, Steve Byers, Marines, Tom Rippon, Jerry Myers representing the Air Force, and Jim Myers.
And coming up is more veterans from the Vietnam era, and Vince Powell, the Marine. And
Vietnam
following them
era
is the Honor
veteran
Guard.
Ronald Johnston served in the Air Force. He's escorted by Nick Covino. Vietnam era veteran Marlon Hauser. He is the guy with the trumpet, in case you're wondering about that.
Now, we saw that World War I Jeep earlier, or excuse me, World War II Jeep earlier. Here's how it evolved in Vietnam. Few more pieces of technology on that.
Nelson Dobler served in the Marine Corps. He's riding in a very nice Mustang.
Donald Russell is escort.
Veterans Richard Owen. He served in Vietnam. He's unable to attend today because of health reasons. William Laverty was in the Cold War era, escorted by Steve Rank.
Some more Vietnam area veterans with Larry Erb from the Army, Dale Hawk of the Navy, and Bill Tressler from the Marines.
Dale Hawk in the back seat of that car. Here's another Jeep.
That's a little bit more modern Jeep.
Yeah.
With Steve Fisher, a Vietnam Army medic, and Cody Fisher from the Pennsylvania State Police, which is probably his vehicle, seeing all the PSP things on the back.
I would think so.
Again, honoring all the services with their flags, as we have throughout this parade. And the military branches, Tim Yon was the presenter there providing that.
This is a military order of the Purple Heart, honoring those who were injured during warfare. Barry Mavis, a mover and a shaker in that group. Vietnam veterans Hank Baylor, Jim Kallenberger, escorted by Jim Kallenberger. He's coming up here in his Prowler. It's an unusual vehicle. There are only a couple of those around. That one a very, very nice one. Jim Kallenberger told me he drives that maybe a couple times a year.
I would be afraid to pull it out of the garage.
He is.
I
doesn't
understand
pull it out
that.
when it's raining, that's for sure.
I understand that completely. One pothole and you're in trouble.
Yeah. What an interesting car to be driving.
Oh, that's what that kind of a vehicle is what is built for parades. Vietnam veterans Fred Yoder and Richard Erdley, escorted by Richard.
And another military vehicle, veterans Joe Shepperson, served in Vietnam. Marine Nick Alferis in Iraq. Wade Boston.
That's the that's actually the evolution of the Jeep then. That's not a Jeep, but it's an evolution of the vehicle from the Jeep. We'll put it that way.
There's Vietnam veteran Lou Van Gilder. Volunteers at Kate's Cupboard, Northumberland. St. John's Lutheran Church, third Saturday of every month, 9 to 11. Baby and adult care products. All right, motorcycles coming up.
I lost. I lost the noise battle.
Harley Davidson motorcycles. I love them. They're American Legion riders, post 957 out of New Berlin, Pennsylvania.
I knew there was no chance of me being able to talk over all those Harleys.
We didn't get to fly over, but that makes your intestines grumble, doesn't it?
I felt a little vibration, yeah.
Yeah. The windows throughout Market Street just moving in their frames right now. Okay, we have a really old tractor coming here. That's an interesting vehicle.
Look, they're almost a block away, and I can still hear it.
You gotta love that sound.
Rich Vreeland was a Harley-Davidson guy. Of course, he owns a dealership as well, but he used to race motorcycles, and he showed me one. He said, "Do you want to sit on it?" I'm like, there is no way I want to sit on that thing. I don't want to dump it. That was a big bike. Arlen Rischel, the Vietnam area veteran, in a Case military tractor and trailer.
Vietnam era veteran.
And that seat has no cushion. I mean, it bounces a little bit. There's a little bit of a spring on it, but no shock absorber.
Vietnam veterans Ken Herman and Robert Leach, escorted by Robert Leach. There's a nice new Corvette.
That's another one I'd be afraid to take out.
Eugene Ackley served in the Army as a Vietnam veteran.
Denise Gulliver is the driver there.
More beautiful cars. This one happens to be a Mustang. In there is Vietnam veteran Claire Moyer, served in the Navy. He is escorted by Sherry Welshins.
Get into the classic BMWs now. With Barry Lobsher there, escorted by Dennis Burns.
It's the first time in the parade for Denny Burns. Classic BMW, very nice one. Obviously spends a lot of time making sure that's spick and span.
I see, Carl, that they borrowed your hat for the car.
Yeah, there it comes.
That's nice. It was nice of you to allow them to use it.
It won't fit my head. My head's too big.
I was not going there. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Is it fit? No, not quite. Not quite.
Thank you, veterans. In your neighborhood, Service Electric Cablevision.
It's all about what you can do in your community.
Oh, yeah. Well, with all the live events like this parade,
absolutely,
Service Electric certainly has made a mark. It's been tremendous working for the organization for all these years. Started out as CCN, Community Cable Network, then Service Electric came by and took it over, and we went from 4 school districts to 14 school districts in a matter of moments, and it's been a real adventure.
And again, it's all about what you can do to serve your community. And if you look later on YouTube, you'll be able to see Carl wearing the hat. I'm putting it out there.
Well,
now you've got to.
Here comes administrative assistant and marketing coordinator Bonnie Keister waving at us there.
I see that you automatically just glazed right over the hat thing. Well done. That was smooth. I'm going right next to the next person. Okay, there's Bonnie. We're good.
The Mifflinburg Area Marching Wildcats. Frank Cloak is the band director. We're going to listen to them.
Sometimes, Carl, I think we forget that this is their summer. They're off right now.
Yeah.
They've gone through, most of them, an entire year of performances from football season right through concert band, and they're asked to do one more, and they do it and have a great turnout as they have here today for the Union County Veterans 4th of July Parade. Thank you to the Mifflinburg Area Marching Wildcats.
Lots of commitment there.
And they have summer band camps probably about a month away now.
Yeah.
Maybe a little over a
Coming
month
up.
away.
We're almost to July already. That's hard to believe.
Well, the weather hasn't shown it except
No.
for a few days. Well, there's a nice-looking flag.
Well, it's in a very nice-looking vehicle as
That
well.
too.
Who's in that car?
That's a great question, Carl. And I think I might be able to answer it for you here in a minute. It looks like it's Mark Sprigg from a Cold War, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Enduring Freedom, and Tamala Sprigg from the Cold War as well. You know, that's another one we talk about that those folks don't get a whole lot of PR, we'll call it, in that Cold War era,
Yeah.
especially through the 70s and in the 80s as well.
This is a tribute to veterans. Cold War veterans Bob Elliott was in the Navy during the Cuban Missile Crisis.
That's kind of the start of the Cold War, really. Anthony Worrell is the escorter there in the Veterans Honor Jeep, complete with recliners. I'm not sure that's stock.
No, I don't. I think that was probably ordered
Yeah,
special.
That might be an add-on, an option.
This is Operation Southern Watch. David Miller served in the Navy. That's David driving the car.
We continue to honor Cold War area veterans with Eldon Habiger, the NATO group of the Navy. NATO getting a lot of discussion lately with everything that's been going on in the world, and they had some meetings recently. Big AC/DC fan, I'm guessing, with the back of the
I
vehicle.
would think so, yes. Veterans Ron Quinn from the Cold War, Global War on Terror, Darren Ryan, Enduring Freedom. They're escorted by Ron Quinn.
Again, the evolution of the Jeep.
Yes. It's a very distinctive front end.
Kenneth Bolig is the Desert Storm veteran, along with Bob Sowers and Kenneth driving there in that Silverado.
Incidentally, Sheets is a Silver Star sponsor for this parade.
Got Todd Showers coming up, a Desert Storm veteran. So even the youngsters know what the logo is in the front of that car. Keep hearing, it's an Audi, it's an Audi.
Yeah. Another Desert Storm veteran, Steve Mebius.
Steve will be coming up here in a minute in a vehicle that also has a very distinct logo on the front.
The Ford Mustang.
I do like the hat, though.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice addition.
It's a nice one. Veterans Jeffrey Johnson of the Army. He was in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Enduring Freedom, Iraqi Freedom. Bill Abers, Desert Storm, and Bill Abers is the escort in that vehicle.
Yeah, they used to say that Jeeps could haul, and now they're true. They can haul because they've got a back end to put stuff in. That was 3, by the way, for those of you keeping a track at home, if it's on your bingo card.
Desert Storm veterans, longtime participants in the parade, Jen Mabus and Julie Eister, escorted by Julie Eister.
And I think that's Lynn Libby walking behind from Desert Storm.
Representing Iraqi freedom, the veterans Jamie Grobes and Travis Grobes. We have a dog in the parade.
A very relaxed one, too.
Active duty from the Navy Reserve. That's Alicia Arvilo. She's a new participant in the parade. She's with her nieces. Again, she's in active duty in the Navy Reserve, escorted by Bill Layer.
And the Mobile Vet Center for counseling services based out of Williamsport.
No vet left behind.
Absolutely.
What a great way to define yourself.
And then you see every branch of the armed services, including Space Force and the reserve components as well, being mentioned there. Vet Center established in 1979.
You mentioned this group just a while ago. The Freilinger Spring Band out of Philadelphia. Brad Bowen is the director. The Freilinger String Band. We're going to get some music from them. Let's see. Very nice, relaxing, pleasant sound.
Their outfits are just a model of what you can do with recycled materials nowadays.
From the Pennsylvania State Police Barracks in Milton.
They actually brought some ice to cool everybody off. I mean, I appreciate the idea, but the ice really isn't melting well to do that.
It's not a really hot day, though.
No,
we
not.
can survive that. From Bucknell University Public Safety, Anthony Morgan is the chief.
Bucknell University, so much a part of Lewisburg's history and Lewisburg's entertainment and Lewisburg, the community as well. This is the Special Operations Response Team from the United States Federal Penitentiary in Lewisburg.
3 vehicles representing SORT, S-O-R-T.
That looks kind of like a tank.
It does, doesn't it?
Carl, I think we have the East Buffalo Township supervisors on the way.
Katie Evans, Tom Zorn, James Knight, escorted by Amy English, who is a first-time driver.
That's the first time she's ever driven?
In this parade.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, she's doing a really nice job for a first-time driver.
Yes, she is.
See, now this is a motorcycle I can handle. It's got extra wheels.
Yeah, that.
I can do
much
that.
more stable.
Yeah. I love the hat. Blinks, flashes.
He has been
There's
in
some good hats.
Tons of these parades. I've seen him all over the place. This is the Union County Veterans 4th of July Parade from Lewisburg. You're watching it live here on SECV8.
And all of these motorcycles that we're talking about are part of the Christian Motorcycle Association.
And they're the kind you like, all of them. They have that third wheel. They're actually called trikes.
I call them balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the one thing I lack.
Not nearly as many worries.
I mean, those wheels could be in the front or the back. Either one doesn't matter to me. It's the two-wheel one that worries me.
Yeah, that.
I have a history on two wheels that just isn't good, that goes back to my early teens.
Well, you certainly don't want to lose your concentration when you're on a motorcycle.
No.
looks like we have some more representation from Bucknell. There's the mascot.
It's Bucky.
The Bucknell Bison.
And Doug Birdsong, the voice of the Bucknell Bison. We've spent a few Sundays or Saturdays together over the years.
Have. I also know Doug very well. I've worked with him a number of times.
Todd Newcomb from the broadcasts as well. The Bucknell Bison football, also a big part of all the events that go on. Look, Doug completely ignored me. I'm insulted. He's too busy throwing candy to every one of the kids.
He's got other things in his mind.
He just adores doing stuff like this. Bucknell Bison cheerleaders represented as well.
Good representation for Bucknell. A lot of their student athletes here walking in this parade.
Well, and I believe this is majority of the wrestling team that has some club wrestling for younger wrestlers as well. They do a fantastic job. And this is a program that really has evolved over the last several years. And being a wrestling guy like you are, you know that all too well.
It's been tremendous working with Bucknell and their wrestling program.
And how important it is to bring the younger generation in all of these sports. And they're handing out some schedules as well. Some more of the Bucknell Bison athletes. Thing that I like is how actively involved they are, not only in their sport, but in the community and getting kids involved in the different sports.
Now mixing in here with Bucknell, another team that relies on orange and black, and that's the Milton Black Panthers, their cheerleaders. Who are these royalties?
Well, this would be the Little Miss Princess Emila from 2024.
Well, you can see this parade again this evening at 8 p.m., tomorrow at 10 a.m., and then on July 4th, it'll be shown at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. It'll also be available early next week on demand. Plus, you'll be able to watch it on the SECV8 YouTube channel.
By the way, that's Amelia. That's Amelia in that.
Okay.
I want to correct that. My apologies.
Junior Miss Princess.
Madeline Wirtz, our junior miss from 2024.
Miss Union County West End Fair, Laura Ramsey.
West End Fair coming up, I believe, in August.
That would be right. Again, from the Union County West End Fair, celebrating 100 years. Wow, wow.
You can find out more by going to them on their Facebook page or ucwef.com.
This is Pennsylvania Cinderella Miss Anna Case, escorted by Ethan Dominic.
Did the shoe fit? It must have. She won. Anna's got a long train there hanging out the back. She almost needs somebody to carry it. If it was just a little bit longer, it would be out over the trunk there. Another local scout troop from the Faith Lutheran Church in Lewisburg. Carl, I've spent a few years with a backpack that size on my back.
Those were great years, weren't they?
Well,
being a Boy Scout.
It was fun. There were a lot of memories I have of those years. And mine went to Camp Levine in northern Columbia County.
Here's the mayor of Mifflinburg, David Cooney, making his way.
He's got to work on the arm a little bit. That was.
He's trying some underhand pitching, I do believe.
Tried the softball throw. The Strasser family there with a patriotic Jeep.
Open Discord Coalition sponsors the Lewisburg Area High School Marching Band. The Marching Green Dragons coming up. Doing a little dance steps here.
I was going to say, there's more than just
listen.
music involved in
Yes.
this now. There's choreography. Oh, I think we're going to get a performance, too.
I hope
Carl.
so.
Maybe it's a preview of what's coming up this fall.
Daniel Swangers, the director of the Marching Green Dragons. Move for another high school football season?
Well, the problem is we're so busy at halftime, Carl, we don't get a chance to listen to any of the bands.
That is very true.
I have to go back and watch it later.
Here's the Lewisburg Area High School cheerleaders following the band.
A large group there from Lewisburg to cheer on the Green Dragons this year. And again, remember, this is their summer. They got a lot of stuff going on with jobs, summer vacations, but still make it a point. Coming up next, the Patriots for Peace display and Neighbors Helping Neighbors. Just community members showing their support.
And they have a band going on too here.
Yeah. And it doesn't take a full-blown drum. All you need is just a bucket.
5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, I'll have to try that when I get home.
Next we have the Campus Theater Float Contest winner in 2024. Sergeant Thomas Riemann-Snyder, the Patriot Award.
Oh, I think we're going back a few years for movies. This is not quite Wicked, but this is Wizard of Oz. So we're going back a little further.
This is not the Yellow Brick Road.
Well, there's a yellow stripe on it. That's close enough.
There they are.
Oh, and the bubbles are back.
Now there comes the Scarecrow.
With my theme song, If I Only Had a Brain.
Yeah. I believe the Lions following through here too.
I didn't see Dorothy's little dog, though.
Toto?
Yeah.
She does have her red slippers on.
If she clicks them, we won't see her anymore, though. So make sure they don't get. I want to hope she doesn't click them together.
Hey, listen, Kevin. We're not in Kansas anymore.
That beats any of them I've had so far.
This is Thunder on the Hill Alumni Drum and Bugle Show. It's July 19th at Milton High School.
That's coming up, as you said, Saturday, July 19th.
At 5:30.
At 5:30. It'll be at the Milton High School. They have the Hawthorne Caballeros Alumni Drum and Bugle Corps. That's a popular one. The New York Skyliners Alumni Band and Bugle Corps. The New York Harlem Warriors Mini Corps. I mean, all over the place. So that one is one you're going to have to look at. Tickets are on sale at Eventbrite, or you can get them on at the gate. It's $10 for kids that are under 12, $25 for general admission.
There's a vehicle representing the CSIU Drivers Training Program. There are no schools in the area that have driver training anymore. It's
I didn't
all
realize
intermediate
that.
unit.
Yeah, I didn't realize that anymore. But, when I was in school, that was how I learned to drive, was through the school program. So thank you to the CSIU. And thank you, veterans, and the Penn State Extension Master Gardener program.
Honoring our heroes all year round.
At St. Paul's at the Farm UCC Faith Community. That's at Brook Park Circle in Lewisburg. I believe they have a float coming up.
Float contest winner in 2022, Sergeant Thomas Riemensnyder. And from just north of here at Watsontown, the Kingdom Kids Puppet Ministry. They're advertising Milton, but they have that big building up in Watsontown.
And here's that float you were talking about, the float contest winner in 2022.
Thomas Riemensnyder. Let freedom ring.
Good picture of the Union County World War II honor roll.
Remax Bridges with a float. There's the Kingdom's Kids float. Education through puppetry. They do a great job. If you've ever been to one of their shows, you know that. If you haven't, I would encourage you to get to one of them.
Extremely entertaining and very talented group. Some more folks passing through that are part of honoring our veterans today, and also making sure that the kids have a full candy bag here to go home to, and some other items as well. I think the snap bracelets there. That's what you need. Watch it. Just slap. There it goes. Right on around.
Let's leave those for the kids. I have plenty.
You have plenty? I was going to say, maybe later on we'll make friendship bracelets together.
There you go.
Like that idea?
That's a good idea.
All right, let's do that.
Remember these?
Lewisburg Bible Church coming up with their float and more bubbles.
More bubbles. That's where those bubbles came from early.
You can't
Apparently
have
they were
too many bubbles.
They were warming up somewhere
That's
back
what it
on a
was.
back street.
Well, those bubbles stayed for a long time. Oh, I just popped the bubble. I was trying to catch it. Doesn't
Don't
work
swallow
well.
too much of that. This is Operation Christmas Child. Send a gift of God's love to a child in need.
It's a part of Samaritan's Purse operation. And raising alpacas, too.
Here comes the Union County Democratic Committee. Sherry Jacobson is the chairman, the chairperson. Doing a great job here in Union County.
The eagle has landed, but the eagle is listing a little bit in the wind.
Yes. There is a bit of a wind going here now, isn't there?
Not a bad thing. It's refreshing. Well, Carl, it's time for another band, the Upper Schuylkill Marching Band from Shenandoah.
Let's listen to them. Now we have a series of parade sponsors for this event here today. Mid-Penn Engineering,
Boats just out Route 45. And following them, the Thunder Ridge Tree Service out of Winfield.
If you have a problem with some trees in your backyard, contact Thunder Ridge of Lewisburg.
They'll put somebody in the bucket, and then they'll take the limb down and run it through the shredder that's being pulled behind.
And if you want, they'll leave you the mulch.
Oh, that's a good idea. I wouldn't have thought of that. That's good thinking. You've done some gardening in your time.
Well, only tomatoes, and I don't put mulch on them.
Oh, okay. Do they grow? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Are you successful with it?
Oh, yeah.
That's more than I could say. I had one successful year with tomato plants. I had a lot of salsa that year. Every year after that, it's been nothing. Maybe I need to talk to a certified arborist about
Well,
things
there
like
you go.
that.
Our director for this telecast is Dylan Lakavage. On graphics, you've seen graphics all through the parade. That's Scott McVicker. Our camera people are Todd Marriott, David Myers, and Larry Tickle Jr. We thank you all for the hard work. Again, I'm Carl Bauer, working with Kevin Herr. It's been a while since we worked together. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we haven't done the two dudes in a parade thing in a while.
No.
But it's been fun. Yeah, it's good. And want to send our thoughts with Kevin Bittenbender, who's normally in this spot too. Hope he's feeling better soon.
This is Scheck Seal Coating, Paving and Line Striping, multi-year sponsor there from Winfield, PA. And they have a number of vehicles here in the parade.
That's a truck right there, 350. Even
That'll
I know
get you
that's
there.
big. Even I know that's big.
In a hurry.
When those trucks pull up in your driveway, you know some work's getting done.
Oh, yeah. A lot of good people working for them, too.
These are the folks that you see around the community all the time, working and, again, taking time out of their weekend to show their support of the Union County Veterans 4th of July Parade and the veterans itself. Brook Park Pet Supply. They have the Dog Watch hidden fences as well.
You need that. If you have a dog that you want to allow to roam free, you need to make sure he's protected by having a good fence, a good electric fence to keep him where he needs to be. Looks like Freedom Towing is the second year sponsoring the parade. They're from Lewisburg, Freedom Towing.
That's another truck that gets some work done. That's a truck that hauls a truck
Yeah,
that hauled other stuff.
very, very powerful for sure.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 wheels.
All right.
Give or take a wheel.
A longtime sponsor of the parade is Blaze Alexander Ford out of Lewisburg.
They've done a lot of the provided a lot of the vehicles from time to time at the for the veterans to drive in. Living Well Home Health Care out of Winfield joining us in the parade this year. This is where everybody gets really excited because the kids call this the candy section.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the one where they're ready for things to come out the windows.
Handful after handful after handful of candy.
A veteran-owned business here out of Middleburg, Carl, with Rally Point Guns.
saw the Mifflinburg Band not too long ago, so another representative of Mifflinburg, PA, just west of Lewisburg.
Coming up, the folks from AM Logging
They're
in the
second-year
Lewisburg area.
sponsors.
Second year.
I don't remember seeing Jackass Brewing Company. We need to give a shout out to them. They're a big new business here in Lewisburg.
Very popular location.
Union County Contracting, their first-year sponsor here for the parade.
Union County Contracting, part of that, as you mentioned, going by us, and now the towing service that most of us use on when things don't go well. Folks like Bucks that tow the normal average vehicles. How about we call it that?
Another one of the trucks from Bucks Towing.
You don't want to have to see them, but it's nice to know they're available when you do need them.
If you need them, they are there.
So many local businesses and organizations participate in this parade for numerous reasons, from honoring the veterans to celebrating 4th of July festivities through the week. And that's why this becomes one of the biggest parades in the area, if not the biggest.
Well, it's big and it's so well organized. Again, a lot of credit goes to Terry Burke. He's the coordinator of everything.
He gets his week off next week, and then it's back to work for 26.
This is Fishing Crete. Bring joy to your life. Drive a school bus.
Fishing Creek Transportation providing bus services for several school districts in the Susquehanna Valley region.
Well, my hat's off to them, Kevin, but frankly, I don't want any part of driving a school bus.
Yes, but you have such a background in education.
Oh,
it seems
yeah.
like it would be an automatic transition for you.
Maybe that's why I don't want any part of it.
Well, you don't have to plan any classes or any curriculum. Look at it that way.
Just show up and do your job and
get them there, get them home.
Wear big earplugs.
More folks from Fishing Creek Transportation coming by.
Very nice antique car coming here. My dad loved those old cars. This one has a rumble seat.
It sure does. When white walls were white walls. And I mean white walls. Folks from Topahawken Springwater providing us with that vehicle. Joe Malloy is the president. They celebrated their 100th anniversary a year ago and continue to be the source of true mountain spring water, not the filtered water that you see in stores sometimes, and provide water in bottles to many area grocery stores as well, including the product that they have for coffee drinkers called Mountainside Coffee.
I want to mention the Standard Journal publishes parade book for distribution. They're from Milton. And up next, Mifflinburg Bank and Trust Company. They're a longtime sponsor of the parade.
And our hosts for our location today.
And we do want to thank them again here at 500 Market Street in Lewisburg for allowing us to use their parking lot. Mifflinburg Bank and Trust, where you can bank on the go.
Again, a locally community-oriented bank, locally and owned and operated. A lot of these folks would have today off, decided to come out and be part of the parade. We thank them for joining us. And now, with a gap in the parade, it's the race to find the extra candy.
That, and I see everybody scrambling for the pennies that were sent out by Mifflinburg Bank and Trust.
Oh, there you go. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Remember, 25 of them will get you a quarter.
Well, at one time, a penny was worth a penny.
Well, that might be a collector's piece soon, from what I hear.
Right. You're right. Glick Garage Door and Fireplaces, their first-time sponsor. They're advertising for being out of Selinsgrove. They're actually.
I have no hands. I can't catch anything anymore. That's why I was a lineman, Carl.
They're actually Shamokin Dam.
Oh, I think I found Toto.
Yeah, there he is.
I knew he had to be here somewhere.
And there's Uncle Sam on the back of the Glick's truck.
Got a little bit of a gap here as the folks from Glick's go under that enormous American flag that took a little bit more effort than normal to get up there, but is just looking fantastic with the Warrior Run Area Fire Department and the Lewisburg Fire Department helping out with their ladder trucks.
SCCV8's coverage of the Lewisburg Veterans 4th of July Parade is brought to you by Sunbury Motors, over 200 years of satisfying customers, and Service Electric Cablevision, proudly serving our communities since 1948.
Trying to get a look at who might be coming up next. Oh, there's somebody in a Navy outfit walking through the parade grounds here. Or the parade route, I should say.
I know we've mentioned it before, but it certainly is a pleasant day to be watching this parade. It's not hot, it's not humid, it's just really nice weather, and we haven't been rained on, so we're getting the best of both worlds.
And it's just warm enough for, you know, a nice, cool, refreshing item like what comes from Winfield and Arentis yogurt. That's another business that is fairly new to the area and has been a huge supporter of everything local around here.
Handing out samples of their products. Good advertising.
Yeah, that's a
strategy.
hot commodity right now. Everybody's getting up for one of those. And now the folks that keep the power going. Citizens Electric.
Thank goodness for them.
Why, you talk about people that come out in all types of weather and conditions and times of day and night. You know, rarely does the power go out in the middle of the day when you're doing the 9 to 5 thing at Citizens Electric. It's usually at night at 3 in the morning.
This is Buffalo Valley Fence and Decks. Their first-year sponsor.
And the original Italian pizza, or better known as OIP in Lewisburg, following those folks.
Second year for them. News Radio 1070 WKOK. There's somebody that knows you, Kevin.
Pia Reese is our one of the talents on 94KX, driving the vehicle there.
This is a vehicle from Equity Roofing, advertising here in the parade.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Folks from Equity Roofing making sure we get some to fill up our candy bags along the way, Carl. We're good now. Well, from Northern Cambria, the Keystone Regiment Drum and Bugle Corps. They're part of the Hope Fire Company in Northern Cambria. Another one of the great bands that's made the trip with the Senior Drum and Bugle Corps.
They're a long way from home.
Yes, sir. That was an early morning call this morning to get organized.
Oh, without a doubt. I think we're going to get some musical entertainment from these people.
Everybody takes a quick water break, gets all set.
And we're getting the drum part anyway, Kevin.
You gotta keep the steps going. And the support vehicles from the Altoona area in the Keystone Regiment Senior Drum and Bugle Corps. Actually, they say the fire company is Northern Cambria and the regiment works out of Altoona, from what I understand.
Looks like we're into the fire company stage of this parade.
One of the unique things about this parade is the fire apparatus, usually all together with the exception of a few local ones that lead the way. And you have a long list of apparatus that make the trip here to Lewisburg for this parade.
Yeah, we'll give them their due as they come by our stand here. We're at 500 Market Street, at the lot of Mifflinburg Bank and Trust.
Mifflinburg Hose Company with their engine leading the way. Steve Walters, the chief there in Mifflinburg.
Number of pieces from Mifflinburg.
Another ladder truck. They call it Tower number 3 in the Mifflinburg Hose Company number 1. Tower 3, Hose Company 1.
Fortunately, in our area, we don't have a lot of use for those huge ladder trucks. That's more than enough, I'm sure, to get to most places
I would think
in our
so.
communities.
I think Mifflinburg brought their whole department here today.
It looks that way. It gives them a chance to get out, give their drivers and their personnel some extra practice.
Where they don't have to rush and do anything.
Right.
They could just make a calm trip. It's amazing when you look into those cabins just how many people they can put in there.
They're big. One of my experiences recently has been in fire truck rides around our communities to honor the state champions in various sports activities. That's been very well received. It gets the drivers out, gets their personnel again out to see what's going on throughout, in my case, Watsontown and Turberville area.
Well, and you look at these, there are four or five vehicles here. Each one of those needs a driver, so you have to get all those people trained on how to do that.
Sanitation Army Disaster Services.
Yeah, the Salvation Army is one of those groups that comes out when things are just terrible in the eastern part of Pennsylvania and also in the Delaware area, just to do whatever they can to give food, shelter, clothing, the necessities in life.
Salvation Army does a great deal of work. Our hats are off to them.
Union Township Fire Company. Rick Wetzel, the chief there at Union Township Fire Company, bringing their engine. And used to be that every fire truck you saw was red.
Yeah.
Now you get to be a little bit unique. And, of course, you know, you look at Northumberland there with the fire police truck. They have the maroon and gold. That was the pine knotter colors. Union Township showing off unique colors there.
Squad 6 out of Union Township.
Part of the area since 1958.
Turbot Township Fire Department.
That's the brush truck that you would see if there's a little bit of a wildfire.
Yeah.
They'll bring that one out, and you'll have the tank guys with small water backpacks going out and fighting those wildfires.
Especially when it's dry, which hasn't been the case in our area recently.
It's not been the case, no.
Here's the Pottsgrove Fire Company.
You know, Pottsgrove is one of those towns that's not really huge, but it's in an area where if they didn't have a volunteer fire company, it would be very challenging from anybody from Danville or Milton to get there in time. So it's very important that these folks get the support that they do from the communities in the region itself.
Like all volunteer fire companies, they're very active in Pottsgrove.
I believe this is a guy that many of us know from our youth. From DCNR, the forestry, it's Smokey Bear. And remember now, growing up, it was only you could prevent forest fires. Now it's only you can prevent wildfires.
Yeah.
They've expanded that with Smokey.
Those are good memories.
I can't do the voice, though. That's way too deep for me.
Evangelical Regional Mobile Medical Services Ambulance. You see that all over the place.
Now part of the WellSpan Hospital organization. And we'll see more folks from WellSpan coming up here with their EMS vehicle. WellSpan celebrating pretty much their first year here in the community.
Do you have any idea why it is that when you see one of those ambulances, you see two of them? They support each other. Do you know why that is?
One is actually the first responder unit, and then
okay.
the other would be the care unit. So it's usually the first responder unit gets there quickly for evaluation. I said that with a lot of confidence, like I'm 100% sure about that, but that's been my experience.
We have the Clinton Township truck and the Sunbury Steam Fire Engine Company. Those two following each other.
More folks from the Sunbury Steam Fire Engine Company. That is a well-decorated golf cart Unfortunately, there's no place in the back anymore for the bag. It's just for riding now. Part of the parade staff.
I believe we have just about come to the end. I want to thank you for being with us here at the Union County Veterans 4th of July Parade for 2025. I'm Carl Bauer. I've been working with Kevin Herr, and it's been a pleasure again.
It has been so much fun to join SECV8, you, Carl, here for this particular event, and love to do it again, and love everything about the Union County Veterans 4th of July Parade and what the committee does to support this and all the events that go around it, Carl.
Again, our director has been Dylan Leckavage. On graphics, Scott McVicker. Our camera people, Todd Marriott, David Myers, and Larry Tickle Jr. For everybody here at SECV8, we want to thank you for being with us. If you want to see the parade again, you can catch us this evening at 8, tomorrow at 10 a.m., then on July 4th at 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. It'll also be available early next week on demand. Plus, you'll be able to watch it on the SECV8 YouTube channel. Thank you for being with us from Lewisburg. We are SECV8. So long, everybody.